Hello, everyone. We're here with another special bilingual therapist. Thank you, Priscilla, for saying yes to Rooted in Culture, Fluent in Care. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start with your story. What brought you into the field of mental health, and what inspired you to be a bilingual mental health therapist?
Okay. So my story is long and old. Um, I actually worked with adult mental health um, in my former life, and just choices in school kind of guided me towards that path. Took some pauses, um, and one day a couple of years ago, it was like right before COVID, I decided, you know what, I have a degree in psychology. I just need some classes, an internship and practicum, and I can be licensed.
Mhm.
So I went and did it. I went back to school and got what was needed, and lo and behold, COVID happened right when I was doing it. So, fortunately for me, it worked out very well because I was able to um, do it working from home or going to school from home, I guess, and
Yeah.
seeing clients to get my hours and all that. Um, and why I chose to become a bilingual therapist is I speak Tagalog,
Mhm.
and I don't know if you've searched any of like the lists out there for therapists,
Yeah.
and Tagalog is not a very widely spoken language by therapists,
Yeah.
and Filipinos come from a unique set of, very different from traditional Americans. A lot of us are immigrants. A lot of Filipinos come from the Philippines to the U.S. to have a better life, and um, kind of try to make it successful, and not really realizing the difference of how life is lived in the Philippines versus life lived here. So and I experienced that, and I remember the experiences I had when we first came to the US. My father was retired military and wanted to bring his family to the United States. I was born in the Philippines, and I was about like almost 12 years old when we came here. Big shock. It's such a big shock. And then trying to connect with other Filipinos while kind of um, being immersed in United States culture and the acclamation, you know, all of that kind of just led me like, hey, there's probably others here in the US, and I'm in Las Vegas, that need that perspective, that need someone who's gone through it and understand what they're going through. So that kind of led me to, hey, I want to kind of find this niche where I can be of that service. So that's kind of the little story of how it led me to be where I'm at now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing with us. So, because of that, I'm wondering how does your own culture, language, and live experience show up in a way to support the clients that show up in your therapy room?
I think the biggest thing is understanding, right? Um, there's a lot of that barrier of understanding, and a lot of times too the language barrier. Like my mother barely spoke English, and my father maybe spoke a handful of Tagalog words,
Yeah.
but they somehow stayed married for a very long time,
Yeah.
communicated, and just being with other Filipinos, my own family, my brothers who are um, mostly primarily Tagalog speakers, and sometimes that um, accent
Yeah.
can get in the way, and it could, people don't, Americans don't understand it. So knowing that and understanding that, I I've been through it. I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing is that I've been through it. I know the experience, I know the feeling, and being able to say, I understand. What can I do to support you in this? What do you need from me to help you get past this transitional period that you're going through?
Oh, beautiful. And I think that's which follow to the next question. and part of it you already answered, but I'm wondering what will you add, which is what are some of the unique strengths that you bring into the therapy room, so that your clients who may have the same life experience or the language barriers, can feel seen, safe, and understood.
I think in this circumstance is actually speaking and understanding the language.
Yeah.
I think there's many words in Tagalog that doesn't necessarily translate 100% English. And
Yeah.
if you've ever used like one of those translator, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing. Like if they chose or needed to speak Tagalog, that I could actually understand them and respond back in a language that they are comfortable with and they understand.
Yeah.
So I think that that's
That's
the biggest thing.
What's something that you wish people knew about mental health in the community that you're serving, or something that you are very passionate about and is shifting on how you are approaching mental health?
Okay. One thing that I am very passionate about, and I would love for everyone to know this, is that mental health is a part of, it should be a part of wellness, right? Seeing a counselor should not be, or a therapist should not be because you're feeling down or you have a problem, or that shouldn't be the only reason. It should be a part of, hey, you're okay, you're doing fine. I just need someone to chat to and, kind of make sure that I'm doing everything that I think is right.
Yeah.
So I guess it's more or less that it's you don't need to seek a therapist just because you're having an issue. Therapists are out there. It should be, I think it should be a part of primary care, honestly.
Yes.
Maybe like a check-in every 6 months to make sure that you're doing okay, that you're on track. So that's what I'm passionate about, and I wish that somehow it can be included in primary care, because I think people would be um, a lot more balanced, I guess, in their well-being.
Yeah, I love that. I'm wondering if you can share, I'm sure you have multiple, but I'm wondering if you can share like one moment that reminds you why what you do matters as a bilingual mental health therapist.
That reminds me of a client that I recently worked with, and she was very limited in English, and unfortunately, she's involved in services that are not necessarily seen as the best, and because she couldn't speak English to their understanding, a lot of her needs were not being met, were not being heard,
Oh,
and then speaking with her, she was able to communicate in Tagalog what was happening, how she felt she wasn't being heard, what she needed, and with her permission, I was able to communicate that to the people who were, helping her, and get her better services, better care based on what she actually needs and not what they thought was going on.
yes. I love that, right? Because then you're just talking about one of the things that most of us do when we're bilingual, which is it's not just being a therapist, but a lot of the times we're advocating, we're translating, we're doing things outside that our school never mentioned in order to help our clients.
That is so true.
So I'm wondering, what is one or multiple, however you want to name, strength that you bring into your work as a bilingual therapist that not everyone can see on your resume or your professional bio?
Okay. I think one that I a lot of people probably wouldn't think as an approach is that I like to, um, I guess the word is decolonize therapy, right? And we are in the United States, and typically our modalities are rooted in what's been done here. So it doesn't account for someone who grew up in the Philippines all their life and how life was over there, what issues are over there. So I like to decolonize that a little bit and work from a perspective of, hey, what was it like growing up in the Philippines? How do those, how does that uh, make you as a person versus living here in the Philippines? And let's work, I'm sorry, in the United States, and
Yeah.
let's work from that perspective, and then kind of bring that into coming here to the United States and acclimation, keeping your identity intact while being able to navigate your surroundings safely and I guess to your liking kind of thing. So I'm also very big on making sure that the person is doing what they want to do because it's their life. They need to make that decision. So just helping them, supporting them to get to that point.
Yeah. Lots of empowerment. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
definitely.
I love this. So for everyone who is watching this video, just know that we're gonna have Priscilla's information below the video. Please contact her. So if you're a therapist and you're looking for someone, Priscilla, it's right here. She's available. She just stated she's in Nevada. And if you're a client and you're like, I'm just looking for, and she's speaking to me, please do not hesitate to reach out to her. Priscilla, thank you again for being
Thank you
part of
so
this
much.
project. And until next time.